In today's video, let's talk about Megamind and explore his backstory, his motivations, and his journey throughout the first movie. He is an alien who hails from the Glaupunk quadrant. Once a notorious supervillain, he's now the hero and defender of Metro City. He's the central character in the Megamind series and is notable for being the last surviving member of his species. His story began when he was just 8 days old. His home planet faced total destruction due to a black hole. In a desperate attempt to save their son, Megamind's parents placed him in an escape pod along with his loyal caretaker, Minion, and sent them to Earth just before the planet was swallowed up. Megamind grew up in a prison environment, surrounded by criminals, which greatly influenced his upbringing. He also struggled in school, where he was often overshadowed by Metro Man, the local hero who always seemed to outshine him. Feeling neglected and unappreciated, Megamind eventually decided that he was better suited to a life of villainy. Determined to become the perfect antagonist to Metro Man, he spent many years devising elaborate schemes to challenge his superpowered rival. One of his frequent tactics involved kidnapping Roxanne Ritchie, a young and attractive reporter. He believed that Roxanne was romantically involved with Metro Man, which made her the perfect bait in his ongoing attempts to best the hero. Despite his villainous intentions, these repeated kidnappings were more about gaining Metro Man's attention than causing real harm, reflecting his complex motivations and longing for recognition. Despite facing numerous defeats, Megamind's ego remains as inflated as ever. He's constantly patting himself on the back, whether it's boasting about his looks or flaunting his intellect. This self-assurance often leads him down the same path as many other supervillains. He just can't resist the urge to spill the beans about his elaborate schemes at the worst possible moment, giving Metro Man the opportunity to swoop in and save the day, usually rescuing Roxanne in the process. Despite the setbacks, he never lets failure dampen his spirits. He simply shrugs it off, dusts himself off, and begins plotting his next grand plan, undeterred by the risks involved. It's this resilience and unwavering determination that make him such a formidable foe, even in the face of repeated defeats. Megamind's refusal to stay down, coupled with his unshakable confidence, ensures that Metro City is never short of excitement and chaos. Despite his aspirations to be a notorious villain, Megamind falls short of his ambitions, often avoiding causing serious harm. While he may create chaos and mayhem, he typically refrains from inflicting physical harm on others. Aside from the occasional abduction of Roxanne, Megamind and his sidekick Minion tend to engage in acts of theft and vandalism, primarily during their clashes with Metro Man. On the night that Metro Man is seemingly defeated, Megamind boasts about his potential for horrifying atrocities, but ultimately dismisses the idea, urging everyone to carry on with their lives as if nothing happened. This contradiction in his behavior reflects his internal struggle between his villainous persona and his inherent reluctance to cause genuine harm. Despite his villainous facade, he is genuinely disturbed by certain acts of violence. For example, he is horrified when he discovers Metro Man's fake skeleton and when Hal Stewart, under the guise of Titan, demonstrates his newfound powers by incinerating a plastic model of Megamind with his eye laser. Furthermore, he never intends to cause harm to Roxanne, showcasing his underlying moral compass amidst the chaos. Ironically, it is this realization of the consequences of his actions that ultimately leads him to abandon his life of villainy. He becomes aware that his schemes have spiraled out of control, causing more harm than he ever intended. This pivotal realization marks a significant turning point in Megamind's character development, as he begins to question the morality of his actions and seeks redemption for his past misdeeds.